Roger Eliot Fry was an English painter and critic, and a member of the Bloomsbury Group. Establishing his reputation as a scholar of the old masters, he became an advocate of more recent developments in French painting, to which he gave the name Post-Impressionism. He was the first figure to raise public awareness of modern art in Britain, and emphasize the formal properties of paintings over the associated ideas conjured in the viewer by their representational content. He was described by the art historian Kenneth Clark as incomparably the greatest influence on taste since Ruskin. Insofar as taste can be changed by one man, it was changed by Roger Fry. The taste Fry influenced was primarily that of the Anglophone world, and his success lay largely in alerting an educated public to a compelling version of recent artistic developments of the Parisian avant-garde life. Born in London, the son of the judge Edward Fry, he grew up in a wealthy Quaker family in Highgate. Fry was educated at Clifton College and King's College, Cambridge, where he was a member of the Cambridge Apostles. After taking a first in the natural science tripos, he went to Paris and then Italy to study art. Eventually he specialized in landscape painting. In 1896, he married the artist Helen Combe and they subsequently had two children, Pamela and Julian. Helen soon became seriously mentally ill, and in 1910 was committed to a mental institution, where she remained for the rest of her life. Fry took over the care of their children with the help of his sister, Joan Fry. That same year, Fry met the artists Vanessa Bell and her husband Clive Bell, and it was through them that he was introduced to the Bloomsbury Group. Vanessa's sister, the author Virginia Woolf, later wrote in her biography of Fry that he had more knowledge and experience than the rest of us put together. The artist William Rothenstein, however, observed around the same time that he considered Fry a bit crazy. In 1911, Fry began an affair with Vanessa Bell, who was recovering from a miscarriage. Fry offered her the tenderness and care she felt was lacking from her husband. They remained lifelong close friends, even though Fry's heart was broken in 1913 when Vanessa fell in love with Duncan Grant and decided to live permanently with him. After short affairs with such artists as Nina Hamnet and Joseph Cote-Malek, Fry too found happiness with Helen Maitland ANREP. She became his emotional anchor for the rest of his life, although they never married. Fry died very unexpectedly after a fall at his home in London. His death caused great sorrow among the members of the Bloomsbury Group, who loved him for his generosity and warmth. Vanessa Bell decorated his casket before his ashes were placed in the vault of King's College Chapel in Cambridge. Virginia Woolf, Vanessa's sister, novelist and a close friend of his as well, was entrusted with writing his biography published in 1940. Artistic style. As a painter, Fry was experimental, but his best pictures were straightforward naturalistic portraits. Although he did not pretend to be a professional portrait painter, in his art he explored his own sensations and gradually his own personal visions and attitudes asserted themselves. His work was considered to give pleasure, communicating the delight of unexpected beauty and which tempers the spectator's sense to a keener consciousness of its presence. Fry did not consider himself a great artist, only a serious artist with some sensibility and taste. He considered Cowdray Park his best painting, the best thing, in a way that I have done, the most complete at any rate. Career. In the 1900s, Fry started to teach art history at the Slade School of Fine Art, University College London. In 1903 Fry was involved in the foundation of the Burlington magazine, the first scholarly periodical dedicated to art history in Britain. Fry was its co-editor between 1909 and 1919, but his influence on the Burlington magazine continued until his death. Fry was in the consultative committee of the Burlington since its beginnings, and when he left the editorship, following a dispute with Custon Eddy regarding the editorial policy on modern art, he was able to use his influence on the committee to choose the successor he considered appropriate, Robert Rattray Tatlock. Fry wrote for the Burlington from 1903 until his death. He published over 200 pieces of eclectic subjects, from children's drawings to Bushman art. From the pages of the Burlington it is also possible to follow Fry's growing interests for Post-Impressionism. Fry's later reputation as a critic rested upon essays he wrote on Post-Impressionist painters, and his most important theoretical statement is considered to be an essay in aesthetics, one of a selection of Fry's writings on art extending over a period of 20 years, published in 1920. His greatest gift was the ability to perceive the elements that give an artist his significance. Fry was also a born letter writer, able to communicate his observations on art or human beings to his friends and family. In 1906, Fry was appointed curator of paintings at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. This was also the year in which he discovered the art of Paul Cézanne, also the year the artist died, beginning the shift in his scholarly interests away from the Italian old masters and towards modern French art. In November 1910, Fry organized the exhibition Manet and the Post-Impressionists at the Grafton Galleries, London. This exhibition was the first to prominently feature Gauguin, Manet, Matisse, and Van Gogh in England and brought their art to the public. Virginia Woolf later said, on or about December 1910 human character changed, referring to the effect this exhibit had on the world. Fry followed it up with the second Post-Impressionist exhibition in 1912. It was patronized by Lady Ottilie Morel, with whom Fry had a fleeting romantic attachment. In 1913 he founded the Omega Workshops, a design workshop based in London's Fitzroy Square, whose members included Vanessa Bell and Duncan Grant. In 1933, he was appointed the Slade Professor at Cambridge, a position that Fry had much desired. In September 1926, Fry wrote a definitive essay on Seurat in the Dial. Fry also spent 10 years translating, for his own pleasure, the poems of the symbolist poet Stéphane Mallarmé. Blue plaque was unveiled in Fitzroy Square on 20 May 2010. Books, Art and Commerce. Art history is an academic study. Arts and Picture analysis. Arts of painting and sculpture. Vision and design. Transformations. Cézanne. A study of his development. Henri Matisse. Characteristics of French art. Reflections on British painting. Giovanni Bellini. Duncan Grant. Flemish art. Last lectures. A sampler of Castile. 12 original woodcuts. Translations. Some poems of Mallarmé.